State public employees are plotting their next move in response to a Senate bill aimed at changing the face of collective bargaining. Today, state employees gathered in Bend to protest the Omnibus Collective Bargaining Bill, or Senate Bill 750 as it's known. Public employees fear another pay reduction right on the heels of Measure 8 and say this bill would strip them of their voice.
It looks a lot like rallies held before the November election, but this time it's Senate Bill 750 that has the Oregon Public Employees Union up in arms.
There does seem to be an onslaught of attacks from several sides. This is the scariest, though.
As state lawmakers tackle the budget, a union representing state workers is pushing for a salary increase to offset the pay cut that will begin July 1st. That's when Measure 8 takes effect, which requires state workers to pay 6% of their salary into the state retirement fund. Susan Castillo has more from Salem.
Right. She should try her primary physician first, and if that doesn't work, then she should contact me. We feel like we're doing more work and better work than we were before, and now we're facing a pay cut, so we're pretty unhappy about that.
The first priority for us is to make sure that our members are not seeing a cut in compensation come July 1. First priority is stay even.
At this time, we don't plan to give salary increases.
I don't think the legislature is going to be held hostage by the public employees. Either you give us what you want or what we want, or we're going to strike. I don't think that's very responsible, and I don't think the legislature is going to sit here and be held hostage by public employees.
Well, even Bob Tiernan has said state employees deserve to be paid fairly. And a neutral third party has said this is fair.
Are you ready to strike? Yeah!
The union also believes state workers won't get the 6.5% salary increase they want this year without a strike. State employees haven't walked off the job since 1987.
Angry and frustrated state workers take another big step toward a strike. Good evening, I'm Melissa Mills. Union delegates representing more than 20,000 state workers met in Beaverton this afternoon. They came together to throw support behind a fact finder's recommended pay raise. They also showed up to let state leaders know that they will walk off their jobs over wages. Ken Cole has the story.
Some 150 delegates from the Oregon Public Employees Union stand united in Beaverton, voting for a fact finder's pay raise and throwing support behind a potential strike. At issue is a 6.5% pay hike they say is needed to bring workers' wages up to par with those in the private sector. Union members are frustrated and angry over a 2-year wage freeze and a plan to cut their pay by 6% to support public employee pension.
I'm being treated, I think, a lot like a servant to the state of Oregon, where we are just to serve, we're to provide services, but we're not to be compensated for what we think is just compensation for what we have done.
We're being targeted, and we're not second-class citizens. We deserve to be treated with the same respect as other working people in the state. It's not just an attack on us, it's an attack on all working people in Oregon.
And union members apparently aren't the only ones preparing for a possible strike. OPEU has just obtained a copy of this document, which is supposedly being circulated by the state's Administrative Services Division. The so-called strike communications plan instructs managers on how they should deal with the media during the strike. The document says public opinion is, quote, ours to lose, unquote.
I can't afford to go on strike, but I can't afford not to go on strike. Measure 8 means I work for 12 months and get paid for 11 months.
Public service workers in Oregon, in your struggle for jobs and job security and fair pay, you do not stand alone. You stand in great tradition as you fight together to take care of the sick, as you keep our cities clean, as you educate our children. Remember, as we entered this season, April 4th, 1968, Dr. King was killed, shot down in Memphis, fighting for garbage workers, fighting for public sector workers. You brought us honor, you brought us dignity, you brought us health. Now fight with unity and fight with courage and stand up. You deserve a livable wage and job security and the health care plan. The Rainbow Coalition stands with you. Let nothing break your spirit. Keep hope alive.